Ever felt like you're herding cats underwater? Yeah, me too. If you've ever been in the water and you've lost a diver to a more interesting sea cucumber, or run out of air because someone breathes like a jet engine, or had a briefing that's been ignored just like the terms and conditions page on a software license, then this is your lifeline. I'm Gary, and in the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you how to control chaos without becoming a drill sergeant, fix the air hog problem, and it's not using duct tape, and actually make divers want to listen to you. Okay, mostly listen to you. But let's dive in. Step one of the process is to keep your group together, because nothing says amateur hour like losing half your divers before you get to the first coral head. Here's how. Brief clearly. Set expectations before the dive. Go through your hand signals. Make sure that everybody understands what it is you're communicating to them. Stay close, and no, Steve, you can't wander off to go and find Nemo. Buddy checks. Pair up strong divers with newbies, if you can. Think of it as underwater babysitting. These experienced divers can help you out as long as you get the balance right. Stay visible all the time. I dive with very bright fins, or I use a light. If they can't see you, they're going to follow the nearest fish instead. And very importantly, count often. Like a kindergarten teacher on a field trip, because yes, adults are just like taller toddlers. And if all else fails, bring a leash. I mean, don't, no, do, no, do, yeah, bring a leash. Mostly kidding. Entertainment is key to having people want to follow you. Because bored divers are the ones who will touch things that they probably shouldn't, or that start wandering off because you're not providing that entertainment for them. So pro tips, point out cool stuff. Even boring creatures to you and I have fun facts. See that sea cucumber over there? It breathes out of its ass. You're welcome. Engage before and after the dive. Share some dive lore, photos, or that time you saw a shark wearing sunglasses. Okay, maybe you didn't see the shark. Maybe, people will see through that one. The important thing to remember is your clients are paying for your time and are looking to be engaged or entertained throughout the entirety of their time with you, not just in those 2 relatively short periods where you're underwater. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be Coco the Clown, but it does mean be engaging. Make the surface interval part of the experience. It's an opportunity for you to cement that relationship with your divers and maybe persuade them to dive with you. Again, you'll be amazed at how many divers want to know your story because it's interesting. You're here diving every day. That's big for some people. Now, finally, air hogs. They are a dive master's nemesis. And here's how to handle them without resorting to sabotage. Pre-dive checks are vitally important, making sure you're assessing breathing rates on the boats before you get in the water and that everybody's gear is set up well. You don't want to have that opportunity that the one person who needs the air the most has the free flow. But if you have someone that's sucking like a vacuum cleaner, assign them to lead. Peer pressure works wonders. But teach breathing techniques and visualization. Slow, deep breaths, calming thoughts, slowing everything down before you get off the boat. It's not like we're running from Poseidon. But plan the dive slightly shallower as well if you are conscious that you may have an air hog. Keep the group away from the deep because depth plus air hog equals a very early surface swim. But potentially bring a pony bottle. There's nothing wrong as a dive pro clipping on a pony, swimming with it, knowing that you may need to hand it off to that guy and allow him to carry on his dive. So nice, long, slow breaths. Prevention beats panic. And here's how to avoid those fun little surprises. Again, pre-dive safety checks, making sure people have got their gear all set up, their weights are on, and that you've checked their actual experience levels. No, snorkeling in 2012 does not constitute recent experience. Plan for currents. At the end of the day, make sure that you brief the group. Today's forecast: water, possibly moving. And carry spare gear. Make sure you have a mask, some regs, and some snacks for that hangry diver. They're real. And ensure you keep logging your dives. Logging isn't just about bragging rights, it's your safety net. So log. Make sure the details of what you've done are captured in your log, the conditions, what worked, what didn't work. And Steve's sock monster. Use apps or pen and paper because memory is the first thing to fade. And here's why it matters. Not only are you tracking progress, gas planning, and proving that you're not the reason that Steve panicked, sorry Steve, but in the event there is an issue sometime in the future, you may be required to demonstrate that you're a diligent professional. What screams diligence more than excellent paperwork and a complete log of your diving activities? On courses, I get my students to sign my logbook, which includes the details of the training activities we did, and I do it at the same time I sign theirs. I also include all the specific activities. Dive number 4, we did A, B, C, D, E. It just means I have a record that they've signed of what we did together. So as a DM, you are now the leader. And that means what? Well, safety. It's your dive. You're the designated adult now. Sorry. But you also need to adapt. Newbies need hand-holding. It's a fact of life. But experienced divers want the freedom within limits. And you need to be able to adjust and flex so that everyone gets the dive that they want. So be flexible, but in control. And stay calm. Panic is contagious, unlike laughter, sadly. And as Kipling almost said, if you can keep your head when all around you are losing theirs, congratulations, you're a dive master, my son. So what makes a good dive? Well, a good dive recipe. First ingredient is prep. Preparation and choosing the right site. So having knowledge of the sites around you, making sure your gear is all ready and you've done all of your checks. And before you get in the water, that important briefing. Flexibility. Conditions change. Adapt to those changes and adapt to the circumstances divers present you with, or abort. And debrief. Celebrate those wins and those things that really worked well and learn from those oops moments. And why dive overweight? If you've watched any of my videos recently, you've probably heard me bang on about the importance of diving correctly weighted, except you're a dive master now, and that goes out the window, so carry a few extra kilos. So why is it that I'm telling you now that a few extra kilos is the right thing? Well, it's about safety margins. There are going to be some times you're going to encounter a diver who might need a little bit of assistance descending. Give them a weight block. Take it back off them when they're down. But it also can provide some divers with additional stability if they're facing some currents or some surge, which can be a hell of a workout. But carrying that spare weight is important because you just know somebody is going to ask for it. So remember, the secret to smashing it as a dive master is to keep them alive, keep them entertained, and just scared enough to listen. Now go forth and may your dives be less chaotic than this video. Oh, don't forget your fins. Huh?